Hi, this is Paul Sinclair and welcome to another Super Deluxe Edition unboxing video. Today we're taking a look at Ultravox's Vienna, which was reissued on the 9th of October, which was Judgment Day for reissues. That was the day that John Lennon came out, Tears for Fears, various others. Now this might look like I'm holding some kind of vinyl package, but this is actually a large format 5 CD and DVD box set. So obviously it's the 1980 album. Comes in a nicely spot varnished outer slipcase, and again on the back some nice spot varnishing there on the photos. And to run you through the contents, so there's 5 CDs. The first CD is the original 1980 analog master. The second disc is a new Steven Wilson stereo remix. CD3 is a bit like the second disc in the deluxe edition of a few years back, so it's singles, 12-inch mixes, B-sides, etc. And there's a few extra things, but that's relatively familiar. And the fourth disc is a whole load of cassette recordings made during rehearsals, sort of late 79, early 1980. So there's quite a lot there. There's 15 different instrumentals, variants, different versions, etc. And these cassette recordings are completely unreleased, so that's obviously very interesting content from a fan point of view. And CD5 is a live performance at St Albans. Again, this is previously unreleased, and that was recorded in 1980, which was the year the album came out. Now the fifth disc is a DVD, and the reason it's a DVD is because it contains a surround sound 5.1 mix by Steven Wilson. And in fact, there's a couple of versions. So there's a DTS mix, there's Dolby 5.1, and there's the high-res stereo version. Bearing in mind this is a DVD video, it's not a DVD audio, so it's not pure lossless 5.1 in the way that it would be on a Blu-ray, for example. So in some ways this isn't that dissimilar to the Tears for Fears box set. It's 4 CDs and a video disc. I mean, it's not Blu-ray, but it is DVD, so it's similar, but it's obviously they've gone for a totally different presentation with the large format. And I think each have their advantages and disadvantages. You get to enjoy the artwork in sort of 12-inch by 12-inch format, obviously, on this one. But you know, it could offer some storage problems if you're a CD collector and you don't really have any vinyl storage. That's another thing to think about. Now, in terms of the internals here, what we've actually got is what looks like two gatefold vinyl records, but of course there aren't any records in this, so let's have a look. So we're looking at 2 gatefold sleeves here. This is obviously that's the album cover, and we open it up and we've got some discs in there which we'll look at in a minute. And then this one has an alternative photo on the front and some good contact sheet images on the inside gatefold and some credits and photos on the back. So what's in this one then? Well, let's have a look. So in the left hand pocket we've got this mysterious looking envelope. When you open it out, you've got a series of glossy photos really. These are obviously details within the contact sheet, quite evocative of the era. Everyone looking suitably moody. They're quite nice. That's all that's in that envelope here. So that's the left hand pocket, and then in the other pocket is a large booklet. This is sort of like a CD booklet, but obviously it's big. And this gives you kind of what you want really. There's an intro there by Midge, but then it goes through the album track by track with all the band members contributing thoughts and memories about the recording of the album 40 years ago. Some quite evocative sort of photos of the tapes. Some annotated images from the time, and then the lyrics to all the songs here. More contact sheet, photos, some scans of old lyrics scribbled. There's the images to the various singles. Vienna, of course, is the famous one, which was the third single from the album, released in 1981. And then all the credits at the back. Quite unusual in a way to have this as a sort of separate gatefold. So this accompanies the main gatefold, which we'll look at now, which obviously has all the audio in it. Okay, so this is the album cover. And then what you have is you have the 5 discs here that, and it's quite clever actually, they've artworked the discs up so that it kind of merges in with the actual main image, which is quite a nice touch. Disc 1 is the actual album, as I said before, it's the original 1980 analog master. There we go. So the second CD, this is the Steven Wilson stereo mix. Steven doesn't always do stereo mixes for albums that he works on, but he's obviously decided on this one that it adds something, doing a stereo remix. There was enough to be gained, unlike Tears for Fears, where Steven was fairly confident that he couldn't improve on the original. Not that he would say this is improving on the original, but it's a different kind of reading of the original. What's good about this is actually it's not just the album, it's not just the 9 tracks from the album, you do actually get some of the B-sides there, which Steven's remixed as well, so that's a little bit of a bonus. Some quite high quality B-sides on this, Waiting, Passionate Reply, etc. So disc 3 is the traditional kind of deluxe edition bonus track disc, which gathers up B-sides, the odd 12-inch mix, single versions, and a few live cuts as well. So there's not too much on here that hasn't been issued before, but there are a couple of live video versions at the end, Vienna and Sleepwalk. But of course you would expect this to be included, even though most of this has been out before, you wouldn't expect them to leave it out of this deluxe edition. So I think it's good that it's been included. And then the 4th disc is those cassette rehearsals that we were talking about earlier on. So these are all unreleased, previously unreleased, 15 tracks. This is great content for a deluxe edition. And then the 5th disc is the live at St Albans 1980, again previously unreleased. I suppose if you count the Steven Wilson stereo remix, there's 3 completely unreleased discs from the 5 CD sets. That's quite impressive. And then last but not least is the DVD. I haven't had a chance yet to listen to this 5.1 mix. I've been working my way slowly through this box set and I didn't want to just jump in and listen to the 5.1 mix. Again, you get the bonus, like the stereo version, you get the bonus of the B-sides remixed into 5.1 as well. The Steven's stereo remix is on here as a high-res version, and you get a high-res version of the original album and the original B-sides in their original mix form. So it's pretty comprehensive, there's a lot on here. And that's it, it's really quite simple the way this is presented. So these 2 gatefold wallets go together and slot nicely back into the outer slipcase. There's a kind of simplicity and minimalism to this, which is very much in keeping with the original artwork for the album, the soundscapes and the new wave feel of the time. There's the spine. So that's the CD box set, and I thought while we're here let's take a look at the vinyl as well. So this is the vinyl, 40th anniversary vinyl. Obviously this is all about the 40th anniversary. This is distinguished by this red obi strip here. You can remove this, it is just a piece of paper wrapped around the outside. But I think it's quite stylish and it distinguishes it really quite nicely. The funny thing about this is they haven't just done the album on vinyl and then all the bonus material is on the CDs. They are offering you an extra LP full of extra material. But what I was going to say was, what's interesting is having had the 2 gatefold sleeves in the CD box, this isn't a gatefold even though it's got 2 records in it, which is kind of quite an interesting choice. It does have the spot varnished photo on the front and the same on the back, so they've done the same sort of technique and the same finishing. A little bit of a promotion here for the other albums on the back of that obi strip. But as we can see, LP1 is the album and the second LP has some B-sides on it. I forgot about this actually, but Vienna, the US promotional edit, isn't on the CD box. I forgot that. I remember writing about that when we were first talking about this. raised a few eyebrows. But apart from that, everything else is in the CD box. This is kind of like almost like a mini highlights. There's a cassette rehearsal at the bottom, single version, promotional edit of Vienna, B-sides, one of the tracks from St Albans. So it's a nice little thoughtful selection. And yeah, as I say, this isn't a gatefold, so it's a wide spined vinyl sleeve. So it comes with one sheet which has got the lyrics on it and the credits for the album. And I'm pleased to say the 2 records come in polyline sleeves, which is always what you hope for with vinyl reissues, some kind of respect for the records. Second album has a black label, so that's the main difference. And a bit like the CD box, there's a kind of pleasing simplicity about this. They're not over egging the pudding. It is giving you something extra, this vinyl. It's giving you a whole LP of extra audio, which is, as I say, it's more than you get with some vinyl reissues of albums. So I think if you still like buying vinyl, but you also buy CDs, these 2 things go together quite nicely. It's not overly expensive to pick this up. Not so much so that it would have to be an either or scenario. But of course the CD box, apart from that edit of Vienna, that promotional edit, the CD box does cover everything. So I hope you've enjoyed this brief look at the Ultravox 40th anniversary of Vienna. Keep holding the music in your hands, and if you've enjoyed this video, then why not subscribe to the SDE YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.